everyone, and welcome to another episode of Loud Pigment, our youth-led podcast brought to you by FBYC Creative Action for Conservation. And today we have Jing, who is an environmental activist who combines technology and art and was a part of the Future Blue Council and the True Blue Fellowship programs. Hi, Jing, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great and I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
And as always, we have the amazing painting on our backgrounds, and this is actually an art piece that Jing made. And if you could talk about what it is and what it means to you, it would be amazing.
Of course. So this is, let me move my head so you can see the turtle here. This is a painting of a green sea turtle and it's actually eating a plastic bag. But this is kind of a different kind of plastic pollution painting because it actually shows the bag breaking down into plastic microfibers. So it's really more about microplastics than the more common a turtle eating directly from a plastic bag sort of illustration. And what's special about this painting is that it was created with a novel microplastic based paint. I created a paint out of microfibers that actually fluoresce under UV light. So this painting, I took my photo of it when it was under complete darkness, just with a UV light shining on it. So what you're seeing is those glowing microplastics.
I believe the plants really do glow in the ocean, so that's what I also paid attention to when I first saw the piece, and it looks amazing, and I love the technique that you use on it, and yeah, it does look beautiful.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, now we can just start with the questions, and the one question that we always ask our interviewees is, what is one book, media piece, or maybe a movie that lives in your mind rent-free?
It's definitely a book. The book that's probably just like top of my mind most of the time is it's this book called Till We Have Faces, and it's by C.S. Lewis. But it's this retelling of the myth of Cupid and Psyche. I think retellings have been really popular recently, like with Hades Town and such. But this is my favorite. Um, it's just a beautiful way to tell a very old story in a new way.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I'll definitely add that to my reading list. And what is your favorite water animal and why?
My favorite water animal is definitely the thresher shark, and that's because it's it's this big, scary looking shark, but it's the way its eyes are and its faces, it always looks surprised. So you'll just see it, and it just has its mouth hanging open and it has those big eyes, and it just looks completely surprised all the time. And it has this really, really long tail that's just like seems so proportionally different from how its body you'd think it should be, but it uses that tail to like whip into schools of fish as like a hunting technique. And I just think that's so incredible that that shark can do that.
Wow, I did not know that. This sounds amazing. And what is one thing that makes you happy right now?
Something making me happy right now is it's probably my art. I really love to do art all the time just for fun. I think charcoal is my favorite media, so just black and white drawings.
Mm.
But just having some time and being able to unwind and just draw for a bit, that's where I find my happy place.
Perfect. And yeah, you did say that you're a very artistic person, and that probably means that you were involved kind of with art and environmentalism for a while now. So I was wondering, how did this journey start, and why did you become so interested in environmentalism and art?
Well, it all started with me just loving to do art as a kid. I would just constantly be doing it in art class or at home. And alongside my love of art, my love of science, my love of particularly the ocean was kind of growing just alongside that. I got introduced to the ocean once when I was little, and I think I held a sea urchin for the first time. And the way the spines were moving and just how intricate it looked, that really just got me hooked on ocean science. So from then on, I just started getting more and more obsessed with and nerdy about the ocean and art in parallel. Then in high school, I decided I wanted to write a children's picture book using my art. And so I created a children's picture book called Can You See Me? That C is spelled SEA, to
Oh,
teach kids about camouflage in the ocean, to teach them about marine biology. So just filled it with illustrations showing a camouflaged animal. Then you flip the page and you're like, oh, now I can see the animal. It's uncamouflaged. And now I can learn some fun facts about it.
Oh, wow. Is there a way for the audience to access this book somewhere?
Yes, it is for sale on my website, which is jinggraber.com, just my first and last name together.com.
All right, that's amazing. I will definitely check it out. And I believe that Bausi is definitely doing an amazing work combining art and environmentalism. And that's why I believe you were such a perfect fit for both of the programs, the True Blue Fellowship and also the Future Blue Council. Can you share more about how the True Blue Fellowship program kind of help you in your journey and what projects you did?
Course. So I started the True Blue Fellowship just about when I was starting college. So I was just a baby freshman.
Yeah.
And it was really great because it was like one of the first times I was able to use my artistic skills and just my, I guess, work with media and such, and my love for the ocean. I was able to use them all together for the same sort of program. And I think that was really important for me, especially as a freshman, to start doing because I could see kind of what it could be like later on to be contributing to like real programs and such. I think I worked on a project like designing how a report was going to look for all of the impact of bowel seat for the previous year. It was really good to actually like submit an actual design for a report and feel like my work was really doing something during a time when I was really starting off as a scientist. I hadn't really done real research yet. And I was, besides the book, like I hadn't done anything outside of my own projects with my art yet. And so that was really exciting.
And what about the Future Blue Council? What was it like to you and how did it change your advocacy?
It was really nice to just be in a room where everyone was just about as nerdy as I was
Yeah.
about the ocean. I think that's a very rare group of people. I was also like raised in the middle of Texas, so like not super near the ocean or anything. I go to college in the middle of Texas, and I think the Marine Science Club at UT when I was there was like three people, and so just having an online network of people who love the ocean too was so much fun. We would do icebreakers and fun things and ocean trivia. And I think it's just a very, very unique bunch of people to be to be a part of. And it was also great to learn about what other people were doing because there were other people who wanted to write books or other people who had already been speakers for incredible programs and done so much work for change in their communities in completely different countries. So just getting a glimpse even outside the United States was really neat.
You did mention going to college, so I was wondering if you'd like to share what exactly do you study? Are you doing any extracurriculars in college? And what made you choose the major that you're studying?
Hmm. I'm studying biology. I chose it because I wanted to do marine biology, but and there was a marine biology concentration in the biology program at UT. But then I learned that you can't be part of the honors program and a certain other concentration at the same time. So now I'm just bio honors, vanilla bio, as I like to call it. But I try to center it around sort of the integrative biology areas that I really love and learn about the ocean when I can. Um, as a college student, I think the most important thing though is my research. I've been able to do so much research with especially fish, which has just been a dream. I've worked largely with mosquito fish, which is it's this little itty bitty freshwater fish that just lives in streams just about anywhere. It's
Wow.
present on every continent except Antarctica, so it's a very prevalent fish. Any country should have it, and so it's a very environmentally relevant fish too, because it's everywhere. And so I like to study it and do exposure studies with microplastics, see how microplastics can affect the species. And that's been a huge part of one of my labs at UT. And then I'm in another lab which works with plastic degrading microbes and trying to isolate certain kinds of bacteria or fungi that might be able to degrade plastic and actually just upfront face the problem head on.
What are you planning to do next? Like, is there a project that you're working on that you are excited about, or any plans for the future?
The next plan is definitely to apply to grad school and just I'm hoping to study either some form of like marine science or toxicology, something yeah, something along the lines of what I'm doing now, especially working with fish. But I would say oh, I'm currently trying to publish a couple of manuscripts for like research papers and stuff. I already have one out on fish, but just continuing to whip out some publications is really important to the research experiences. And but in terms of long-term things, I really consider myself more of like a scientific communicator than an advocate. I'd say that's because I just like to be in the lab and figure out what's going on, and then I like just to tell everyone about it. And I think it's great because it's great to be in this little niche, and then to be able to communicate through artwork and to communicate through the things that I can write, um, but about what I'm specifically working on because I think that's the strongest form of like advocacy when it's like in your very niche corner
Yeah.
and you're just able to talk about your own work. And so I think scientific communication, scientific illustration, that's the kind of niche that I like to fill. And I'm just yapping about whatever I love to do and the animals that I love. And I try to focus my work on the ecosystems I'm really interested in.
Oh, I like how it sounds, scientific communicator. I feel like it's pretty much what so many of us listeners are kind of also focused on. So we try to communicate all these problems in the most effective ways. And I believe that storytelling also plays an important role in what you do. So, what tips would you give to all the people who want to start telling stories effectively, and how can they develop this like skill?
I think the most important thing is just being genuine to what their experiences are, the things that they've learned through whatever work they do, which can really be anything. Anything can really be connected, but um, just staying very personal is important. I think even like during, like take the college application process, for example, you can say, I want to be in a place with these esteemed faculty and yada, 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 all the things that everyone's heard again and again. And maybe that is your experience. Maybe with the climate or something, you have a story to tell that's very similar to what other people have told. But if you stay personal to your experience, then there will be things that are different. There are going to be things very specific to you and your work or just the way you grew up. And so just staying very, very true to your own experiences and just talking about what you love. I think those are the most important things.
That sounds perfect. And what would be the first step for those young people who want to get started?
Um, if in regards to like scientific communication, I would say start reading the literature. I think research papers can sound really, really big and scary and everything, but once you sort of just like break yourself into them with a few papers, you really start understanding the format, the setup, and you can really talk in a very effectively communicative way about what these research papers have said. And I think that's really important just to be able to build that skill of reading a research paper. It's a hard skill to build. And I also recommend for a more direct approach that young people start a project of their own. And it doesn't even have to be sciencey. It doesn't have to be artsy. It can be whatever your niche is, whatever thing that you like to do the most. Maybe that's building something. Maybe that's doing a painting.
Yeah.
But start a project of your own. Start contributing to the academic environment with something that you can say, I did that for. And helpful for college applications, helpful for jobs. It just shows a lot of self-efficacy. It shows to start things, even when no one's like telling you to start something, and you will finish them through. You know how to finish a project, complete it from start to finish, to have work ethic.
Would you be able to possibly provide a specific example, perhaps from your own experience, of what a certain project would look like?
Of course. So, I mean, besides the book, I guess. For instance, once I was part of a research project in my lab, and we ended up really needing this certain kind of device that could be used to wind plastic fibers before we turn them into microfibers for our research. And so I was just a freshman undergrad at the time, and I was just like, oh, I was just dying for something to do because besides like setting up tanks. And so I was just like, can I do this? Like, I think I could really work hard outside of lab hours and just get this thing done. And so I was allowed to do this project, and I it took a lot. I met with the author of the paper that had described the project, so an actual professor, and just learned about the device from her. And then I kind of taught myself carpentry skills. I didn't know how to do any of this. Most of the time, you won't know how to do these things, but I just taught myself these new skills and built this wooden device for winding fibers. And we used that for the research. And here's another thing about doing projects. You're always going to be looking for ways to make something bigger, to change things up and create a bigger impact. So I saw a real opportunity with this device because I was like, I don't think labs across the world are going to want to learn carpentry again and again to create another device so that they can study fibers in this way. So I also that's why I applied to the True Blue Fellowship so that I could buy a 3D printer with Balseat's funding and so that I could learn 3D printing, learn 3D modeling. I had no idea how to do any of that, and build a 3D printed version of the device that also required half the effort and had a lot of adjustments made. It was a complete redesign. So now, essentially, you just print the parts, order a couple things, and put it together. And there you have it, instead of taking hours and hours and hours of learning carpentry. So that's essentially how a project goes. You just find a need wherever it may be, and say, I have an idea, let me just try it, even if you don't have the skills or anything to do it, because skills can be learned or anything. It's just the motivation, it's the idea, it's the spark that's important.
That sounds so inspiring, and I feel like it gives such a very helpful insight into how to actually choose like this idea for a project, whether it would be applying to the True Blue Fellowship or just creating your own project, personal project. And yeah, I feel like that sounds really amazing. And thank you so much for being so open and giving such insightful and mindful advice for all the listeners. And we have our last question, which is there someone that you'd like to say hi to in this episode? It could be anyone who would listen, who would tune in and listen to you.
I feel like if my mom ever watches this, I would just say hi to her because I mean everything just goes back to the support and everything that she has just poured into me. And I'm just so grateful for her cheering me on all the time.